So, disaster relief, this is a falsehood. Disaster relief funds used on immigrants illegally in the U.S. The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact.
Well, the citizens in Western North Carolina are screaming for help, and it's having to come from local citizens. People from my hometown of Wilmington are driving across the state 6 hours to go to the mountains and help people.
It is bad.
It is the federal government. Why are they at it?
It is bad there, but my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance as they have been asked for. I just want to quickly play with Senator Tom Tillis.
Let me just say for 1 second.
Go ahead.
You have migrants being housed in luxury hotels in New York City. We have paid so much money from our tax dollars into the crisis that didn't need to happen. We could redirect money to help people immediately on the ground in North Carolina.
The lies from the left are starting to catch up with them. A Democratic senator who rallied against DOGE chooses silence when asked about FEMA corruption. Illegal immigrant chooses to turn himself over to ICE after threatening to commit crimes. And liberals like Whoopi Goldberg are choosing to attack Elon Musk's son on the air. Yeah, guys, we got some crazy stories today, but let's go ahead and get back to the blatant lies that we've been told throughout the years. By the way, appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and subscribing. So late last year, the Biden administration wanted additional disaster funding. This was due to multiple natural disasters that the country faced. They were asking for at least $100 billion in additional funds. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell faced Congress last year where she said this: "Our goal is to help all people obtain all of the assistance that they need and that they are eligible for under the law. And any of the assistance and any misinformation that was out there was making this much more difficult for them to get this needed assistance." Now, remember this concept that FEMA needs more money to help American citizens, which in all honesty is a great concept if the money actually went to the people or to help the people of this country. Now, if we go ahead and fast forward to 2025, and it seems as if this misinformation that CNN's Dana Bash talked about were actually facts.
FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is supposed to help people in emergency situations like floods and hurricanes, is really being shown to be a really dysfunctional organization. And I spoke to Congressman Garrett Graves, who's a former congressman from Louisiana, who called it just a dysfunctional organization that doesn't work. And one of the things he was pointing to were 2 audits that were recently done about the organization by its own umbrella organization. So FEMA is under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security. And the 2 audits found billions of dollars that is unused. This is controversial because during Hurricane Helene last year in Florida and some of the southeastern states, Alejandro Mayorkas made the point, who was the head of DHS at the time, made the point that FEMA had no more money. And that was really a lie because FEMA was sitting on maybe $8 billion of the unused funds. But the most recent audit that was done, and that was done January 30th, 2025, so just last month, showed that the agency had really mismanaged a lot of its funds during the COVID-19 pandemic. And one of the examples that they talked about was the organization agreeing to give $1.1 billion to a particular state. It did not list the state that it was talking about. So FEMA gave out $1.1 billion with a B to a state without getting the proper vetting. It gave the money based on a sheet of paper with no itemized needs or any kind of report by an engineer or an emergency task force about what the money would be spent on. So this is FEMA's own sort of audit showing that there are some very, things that are very wrong with it. In that same audit, which was how it had used its COVID-19 funds, it talked about mismanaging, again, to the same state, the state we don't know. It talked about mismanaging like $8 billion in funds.
Now, realize that Democrats are questioning DOGE and Elon Musk, even though it's very clear for many of us that our taxpayer dollars have been going to who knows where. But here's the thing, guys. Democrats seem to be clueless about the whole mismanagement of our funds. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. They're all focused on trying to stop this audit of the federal government. It's actually why we're seeing multiple rallies happen in an effort to stop all of this progress.
What do you say to those Americans who feel like Democrats are not either being loud enough or doing enough?
Well, I've been doing this every day, and we're going to keep at it, both in terms of working with the lawyers in the courts, making sure we fight here in Congress, there can be no business as usual, and rallying the country, because the country did not bargain for the implementation of Project 2025.
We need to raise every sign. We need to raise every voice. We need to raise hell. We need to make sure that we won't take it, and we are not going back. No! We're not going back to a civil service that was filled with political hacks. No! Who cared about their own interests, not America's interests. All right,
If you are able, stand up. If you are able, I want you to decline to enforce an illegal instruction.
What we're watching in real time is an illegal takeover of federal agencies by Elon Musk and his cronies.
Across the street to make it clear that the attack on you, the attack on the civil service is unacceptable, unconscionable, un-American, and we are going to stand with you until each and every one of those unlawful executive orders are fully and completely reversed, buried in the ground.
Now you can see plain as day that they're very passionate about stopping this major reform. They're out here shouting and rallying the people. But here's something that I want you to watch. Here's how they respond when they're faced with the numbers. Numbers that show how taxpayer money was being used on pretty much anything other than the American people in need. Here's what Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley had to say about it.
Congresswoman, what do you have to say about the fact that FEMA just spent $59 million housing illegal immigrants while people in Western North Carolina lived in tents for the past 4 months? What do you have to say about that? Do you accept that? Do you accept that? Do you accept the fact that, because DOGE exposed that today, it sounds like you have a big problem with the fact that DOGE, I'm not blocking her. I'm not blocking. Excuse me. Are you okay with that? Do you condemn the fact that DOGE exposed FEMA for sending $59 million to house illegal immigrants today? Do you condone that?
I guess she was feeling a little bit shy today, because there's a clear difference between this exchange and how she spoke in front of the U.S. Treasury Department earlier February.
There's a sign back there that says DOGE actually means dangerous oligarchs grab everything. Well, ain't that the truth? I am so tired of these billionaire boys and their grubby little hands grabbing at everything. Hands off our bodies, hands off our data, hands off our tax refunds, hands off our social security checks, hands off our competition, hands off our democracy, hands off. Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby. A godless, lawless billionaire. You know what elected Elon? This is the American people. This is not your trashy Cybertruck that you can just dismantle, pick apart, and sell the pieces of.
Now I'm telling you guys that if Republicans spoke about Democrats this way, mainstream media would have a field day. But it's not just Elon Musk that they're attacking. They want to make this personal by going after his kids. Here's Whoopi Goldberg making fun of little X on The View.
So yesterday, Elon Musk took his son X to a press conference. I did not name the child. And I don't want to hear any more mess about our names, okay? Okay?
Oh.
Anywho, he took little X.
Funny. And little Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram. He just took little X with him to a press conference in the Oval Office to defend himself against critics who say he should not have the power to gut the federal agency.
Remember, guys, this is a child here. They're making fun of a child on national television because I guess calling Trump and Elon Musk as Nazis just wasn't enough. And this is coming from Whoopi Goldberg, who wasn't always known as Whoopi. Her actual name is Karen Elaine Johnson. Isn't it funny that her name is Karen? I guess she wasn't too proud of what her own parents chose to call her. Now, I want to show you guys a clip from Elon Musk that shows the priorities of Lil X. And it's hard to argue that he's making much more sense at 4 years old compared to these hosts on The View.
What should I do?
Save America.
And?
Help Trump.
Okay.
Moving on, guys, ICE just got a really nice surprise. A homeless Venezuelan alien was said to have taken himself into custody. The 23-year-old demanded that he be apprehended or else he'll go out and commit crimes. ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations Detroit Field Office Director Robert Lynch, he had this to say about the peculiar exchange. We're grateful that this individual self-reported and turned himself over to ICE before going out and threatening public safety. Now, if all other criminals can do the same thing, ICE's job will be so much easier. But I guess this is what new governance can bring, because they know for a fact that the Trump administration with border czar Tom Homan is laser focused on deporting criminals, which means it's only a matter of time until they're caught. Now, I want to grab your attention here and direct you to a previous live stream that I did. I covered the visit that Elon Musk and Lil X made to the Oval Office. Make sure you guys check that out because it's eye-opening to hear what they're actually planning to do. And as always, appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.